In there, he looked at his reflection. He removed his glasses and put them on the side of the sink. His image in the mirror became a bit blurry, but he could still see the contours of his abs and how his dark hair ran from his broad chest to his belly button and into his briefs in a straight line. He slowly let his briefs fall to the floor before he stepped out of them. He started the shower and let the water run for a while. Then he got in. The cool water felt nice against his hot skin. He moved his hands over his face, let them wander further down, and let out a loud sigh. Andrea was lying in bed, waiting to hear the sound of the shower. When she heard the water, she kicked the duvet off and hurried to her suitcase. There, she dug out her little vibrator. She needed to relax. Her body was tense, and a nice orgasm was just what she needed after a long day of traveling. She got back under the duvet, listened for the sound of the water again, and started the vibrator. With one hand, she pulled her panties to the side and placed the vibrator against her clitoris. The vibrations made a warm feeling spread throughout her body. The vibrator pulsated against her sensitive skin, and if she closed her eyes, she could almost pretend that it was someone's warm and rough tongue that made her feel so good. She smiled and returned to her fantasy. The one fantasy that she always used when she was masturbating and wanted to come quickly. It always started the same way. She was at a house party, they spot each other in the crowd, and he makes his way towards her. He towers over her, big and strong. An amused smile plays on his lips. "Come," he says. She plays innocent, but deep down she wants him. He takes her hand and leads her through a corridor and into a room with a big double bed. He kisses her, first gently, and then he grabs her hair and pulls, forcing her to chin up. She looks at him and he looks at her. Then he kisses her again, hungrier this time. With his other hand, he lets his fingers wander from her right knee up under her skirt. She trembles in his arms, but he holds her hard. She is going nowhere. When James comes back to bed 20 minutes later, his face was red and he was tired. Andrea was already in bed, pretending to be asleep. Her heart was racing, and she tried to breathe calmly so that James wouldn't realize that she was awake. None of them knew what the other person had just done, and with their backs against each other, the same way they had always slept, they fell asleep. The day after started in a very French way, at least in a way that they imagined that a French person would start the day. With black and strong coffee, sweet orange juice, freshly baked baguettes, and croissants with strawberry jam. Andrea and James had woken up early. The awkward vibe from the night before, and they both were excited as they sat close to each other, talking about their plans for the day. The list from the previous night was long, and if they wanted to do it all before they went home, they would have to start straight away. They ate their croissants and finished their coffee. Then they left the hotel holding hands. If you saw them, you would almost believe that they were a couple that had just fallen in love. They still seemed nervously intoxicated by being close to each other. Summer had just turned into autumn in Paris, and the city looked exactly how they had imagined it. It was still hot enough to wear a thin sweater, but there was something sweet and fresh in the air that made the leaves rustle in the trees. They started their morning by walking up to Sacré-Cœur, the highest point in Paris. From there, they saw the whole city, and they watched it wake up. James smiled when he saw how much Andrea appreciated the view. He thought about how much he loved her and how happy he was that they had decided to take this trip together. But he couldn't stop thinking about the night before. He would lie if he said that everything was okay between them, and especially if he said that their sex life was good. The night before, when they had been kissing in bed, it had been a disaster. He had been so relieved when they were interrupted by room service. The last couple of times they had made love looked the same. Andrea was lying on her back with James on top of her, the missionary position. Andrea with her eyes closed as if she was waiting for it to be over. No, it was almost sadder to have sex than not to have sex. He fantasized about dominating someone. He was sick of the missionary position, of seeing Andrea lie there looking bothered. He wanted to feel something, make her feel something. But his wild fantasies and his desire to pull, bite, scratch, and spank didn't add up with Andrea's personality. Maybe the problem was that he liked her too much, that he had too much respect for her. Paris was good for them.